In this video, I want to show you how to factor a non-monic polynomial. Just means quadratic, in this case, quadratic equation where the number in front of the x squared is not the number 1. Right, that's what it's non-monic. I'm going to refer to the big X method in order for us to be able to do so, and I'm going to explain how that works. So step 1, it says, when we're asked to factor, it says write the factors of the parameter a. So basically, we're going to write the factors of the first parameter there. So I'm going to write factors of the number 6. And I'm going to list out all the factors of 6. Well, 1 is definitely first number I think of. Then 2, then 3, then 6. Now, if you notice, I have them spaced out. The reason being is because not only are the positive numbers factors of 6, but also the negative. So I'd like to put a plus minus in front, indicating that there are not just 1, 2, 3, 4 factors of 6. There's actually 8, because I have positive 1 and negative 1, positive 2 and negative 2, positive 3, negative 3, and positive 6 and negative 6. All right, so those are the factors of 6 there. Now we're going to create a big factor, or a big X, sorry, for step 2. Create a big X and write the parameter C in the top spot and B in the bottom spot. So C goes up top, B goes on the bottom. Our C value in this case is negative 10, that's the constant. And the B value is the number in front of the X, which is, in this case, the number 11. That's step 2. Step 3 now says the following. Place selected factors of A, which was 6, all right, on the left side and the right side of the big X in parentheses. So here's what I'm going to try and do. I'm going to start off with, I'm going to write 6, and the counter factor is to get the number 6 is 1. 6 times 1 is 6. If I was using a 2 here, I would put 2, and then I would put 3, because those two numbers would multiply and get me 6. Okay, that's kind of what we're doing here. Now, we're gonna try and work this out and see if this actually works in our favor. So what we see in the next step is the following. Find two integers that meet the following criteria. We're going to find two numbers that multiply and get us the C value, which in this case are going to be two numbers that multiply and get us negative 10. And then it says factor of A. And it's going to multiply to the first number that we've picked plus, in parentheses, factor of A times whatever the second number is that we picked. Okay? So I'm going to think of two numbers that multiply and get me negative 10. So that means one of the numbers has to be negative. So I'll leave it as, let me just finish up this part here. So I want to think of two numbers that multiply and get me those two values that multiply and get me negative 10. Now I can think of 5 and negative 2. That seems to work. So that means I'm going to put 5 here and negative 2 in the other spot. I'm going to make sure there's room for you to see what I'm doing here. So as we do that, then I think of, I'm going to plug in 5 and negative 2. Now I need to plug in what I chose so far, 6 and 1, and see if that gets me the B value, which was 11. All right. Now the top criteria works because 5 times negative 2 is negative 10. But if I do 6 times 5, that gets me 30, and 1 times negative 2 is negative 2. That does not equal 11. 30 minus 2 is the number 28. So this doesn't seem to work. So we're not going to use this X. Let's try a different one. Let's say if I switched it, if I put the 6 over here and the 1 over there, right? If I do 1 times 5, that gets me 5. If I do 6 times negative 2, that gets me negative 12. But 5 minus 12 does not give me positive 11 either. So 6 and 1 are not good factors. I'm gonna try 2 and 3 now. Or maybe I'll put the 3 here. And I'll put the 2 there. All right, still putting in negative 10 for the C value and positive 11 for the B value. So I'm gonna redo this, and I'll put this below. So let's say I got two numbers. That gets me negative 10. And two numbers that get me positive 11. I'll stick with 5 and negative 2. I still think those numbers work. Let's see if this works now. If I do 3 times 5, that gets me 15. 2 times negative 2 gets me negative 4. If I do 15 plus negative 4, hey, that actually works. That gets me positive 11. So the numbers that I would be plugging in are 5 and negative 2 there. And so here's where the step 5 is going to come into play in terms of us writing out our factors. The whole point of this is trying to write our factors. Now I'm going to rewrite the problem originally. 6x squared plus 11x minus 10 equals 2. I'm going to put in, I'm going to create two factors. Now I want you to catch something. I use 3 and 2 as the selected factors for 6. Which means I want to see a 3 and a 2 in the factors somewhere. And that has to do with us getting 6x squared. So I'm going to put a 3x in the first factor. And I'm going to put a 2x in the second factor. If I were to check my work using FOIL, the first terms, 3x times 2x, does get me 6x squared. All right, now I need to know where I'm going to put the 5, the positive 5, and the negative 2. Well, I need to think about this. FOIL involves you multiplying a term from one binomial times the terms in the other binomials. Okay? The terms inside one binomial, or one of the factors, the two numbers or two terms, they never multiply to each other. But I know the 3 from the factor has to multiply to the 5. Which means I will not put the plus 5 here. I'm actually going to put the plus 5 there. Same goes for the factor of 2. This factor of 2 has to multiply to that negative 2. But again, the terms inside a binomial do not multiply to each other when we're doing FOIL. And so the minus 2 will have to go into the other, into the first factor. And if we were to check our work, that would get us our answer. So these are the factors of this non-monic polynomial. So I hope that's helpful.